Hi, it's JC here. Welcome to my tutorial on how to make a brilliant pop video on your phone. I use 3 or 4 main things to make these videos. They come out quite good quality. I've also made a 25-minute movie on the phone, and let's get on and show you what you need. What I use is this is like an iPhone 4S. It's just a basic phone. I have a little clip here that I put it in, so I can put it on a tripod or I can put it on anything. You know, it's quite useful. Then I have this daylight bulb on a tripod. This is quite reasonable, about 24 quid off eBay. And the final thing is a large piece of green fabric. This is a huge piece of green fabric, about 20 foot by 10 foot. That you can put on, use for backgrounds. So there you go. First of all, you need a piece of music if you're going to make a pop video, and you mime along to that, and then you edit it on your computer. I can show you some examples of things that I've done on the phone, and I use some special apps that come in the phone, actually, very, very cheap apps. There's one that allows you to cartoonize your work. There's one that allows you to make movie backdrops and explosions. These apps you can buy from the App Store for between £2, and they are very useful products. Anyway, have a look at some clips. Okay, this first clip here is shows me driving down the street. I attach this using these bendy arms to the thing you hang a suit from in the car window. That gives you a nice tracking shot. I use this a lot in the Goldborn Variations movie. I attached it to the front mirror, so basically you're driving along, you've got a really nice tracking shot. Maybe you could use a skateboard, or you could use one of those kids trolleys, or steal a shopping trolley as well. That gives you, and you can just attach these arms. It gives you a nice tracking shot. Also, on the first shot of the guitar, you'll see I attached this phone onto the head of the guitar, so it gives you a nice view coming down the neck. It's a great little thing. This is just a really cheap little thing, but it allows you to attach this to anything, you know, to bars or but it's especially good in a car. Okay, the next thing I use a lot is Photoshop. I like to use stills out of Photoshop. I take images of the internet and I stick them together to make a nice collage. I think it's quite important. You can have a lot of fun. You can make yourself have a tattoo that you don't normally have. There are also great sites on the internet, copyright-free film, old bits of movie that you can stick together. I like the archive.org. It's a really nice, they've got a lot of movies. You can take bits and pieces and stick them onto a movie, and I use it here. Okay, here's a technique that I like a lot. I just get 2 frames and I animate them together. It sounds really repetitive. It's very basic animation, but in this case it was a film in Spain, and it's one picture of everybody with their hands up like that, and then one picture like that. I just animated them together and threw some images over, and it looks great. I'll tell you more about this later on. Okay, that was all done on my old camera, which is the iPhone 3GS. I wasn't that good at it. I was editing it on an old copy of Final Cut Pro. I've got a better camera, I've got a better phone, and I upped the game a little bit, and I started messing around a little bit more with green screens and animation, and you can see some of that on this film here, which is called English Girls. For English Girls, I used an old piece of flash animation I'd done maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I always wanted to have like a James Bond beginning to a film, and I'd already made the music. And so this bit of flash animation had sat on my computer for 4 or 5 years, and finally I got to use it, and at the beginning of a movie, and I really like it, and just enjoy it. It's all done in Flash. It takes ages to program, but if you've got the patience, it looks great. Okay, this is where we really get into the Photoshop. I had my Flash intro and I start dropping images. Now, if you've used Photoshop a lot before, you know that it's about layers of images that you can layer on top of each other. I've used this, and I use my old trick of 2 frames. The lady with a fan is just 2 frames, and then I start dropping other images over the top of it using PNG transparencies to make a really nice little vibe. So see what you think of this. Once again, I'm using very simple animations, as it were. I found a nice image of a model of a famous beat group from Liverpool, and they were just standing there holding their guitars, and I just thought, well, you know, if I could get them to do that and their mouths to go like that, a bit like the Thunderbirds, then they might look like they're singing backing vocals on my track. Take a little while, and then but with the Final Cut Pro 10, there's a lot of animation stuff built in. Once you've got 2 or 3 images, you can nest them and you can repeat them with the beat. This is the important thing. You've got to repeat it with the beat, so they look like they're playing the tune. Have a look at this. Okay, this is the dolly footage. Now, the dolly footage is, once again, a lot of it is just 2-frame animation. I found that if I had a dolly with one hand up in the air and one like that, I could flip the frame horizontally and they would go like that, and they would dance. I found this very useful. So you see the French dollies are doing this quite a lot. They're moving from side to side. It works really well. Just look at that. This was very early, before I had the green screen, so I was trying to cut the background out and do some keying. So sometimes my face disappears or anything like that, but I did find that I could make theatre sets behind me, and I could move the sets as well, like an actor or like a movie actor. So this is great. The other thing about this is I'm wearing a lot of makeup. Makeup really makes your face look a lot better. I borrowed some of my wife's makeup, which was actually working. The next project I did was totally I wanted to do is a spoof R&B video for my character J-Pad. What I did is I didn't actually have the green screen yet. I had a piece of blue fabric which I hung up in my studio, and I didn't even have the light then. So I waited for a nice bright day and put some makeup on and dressed all in white. And the big thing about this video is, what people really love about it is the 2 backing singers. Now with Final Cut Pro X, it's very easy to cut and duplicate, and so if I do a little dance, then the other guys do it exactly the same time. So the backing singers became a real focus with the hand movements. Just really worked. I did get some stock footage later on of Niagara Falls that I put it in front of, and I just played around with the matting and the green screen effect, and I was very pleased with it. I put some sparkles on the writing, and it's just a very basic video but very effective.
Every day I think, maybe if I wasn't so shy, I would maybe phone you up or send you an email or ask you for a date. But I guess I'm just not that type of guy. I prefer to be in the background of your life and see how you get on.
The next video I did was probably been the most successful one I've done. I decided it was going to be I was going to show it mainly on Facebook. So what I decided to do is make the entire background white, make everything white. I was taking it a step further from the white costumes in the JPad video. I thought I'd make everything white. And so the other thing is I'd like to talk a little bit about is the song. The song, David Bowie had just brought this brilliant record out. He hadn't made a record for a long, long time. And I thought, well, you know, I want to get this done really quickly. I want to get it out within weeks of David Bowie's. It was probably 2 weeks after David Bowie released the record. It was at the height of its hype, and I had my version out, and I did a lot of really nice playing on it. I recorded it all in a day, I think, and lots of mandolins and bits of accordion and just everything. I did everything myself, and but I wanted to go and shoot some video in Berlin. I was doing a concert in Berlin. I didn't have very much time, as it turned out, in Berlin, because we were doing a show and it was my birthday, and it was just very busy. We were only in Berlin for a day. So what I did is I was visiting my uncle's monument. I took some footage of my uncle's monument and I did something special to it using a filter in the phone. I'll explain to you a bit later.
The moment you know, you know, you know. 20,000 people, crossbows of Brooklyn. Fingers across.
The effects I used on this video from the phone is something called movie drops, which is, you can see there, it's got a little, not ideal, but you can see that it's got these little movie drops that you can adjust. It can come out HG, the little movie backdrops. I use this a lot. And the other effect I used was something called Toon Camera. Toon Camera is something that cartoonizes. I suppose the best thing you could example is the old AHA video. It turns things into a cartoon or a painting. So everything you see in the background is actually my mate, my drummer Rat, walking up to my uncle's monument, and it just proved a really nice end to into the movie.
As long as there's rain, as long as there's rain, as long as there's fire, as long as there's fire, as long as there's me, as long as there's you.
Okay, the next video I made was not for one of my songs. It was made a change not having me on the screen. I was just working on it and doing it purely animation. I was working on a great video for a guy called David M. Allen, who's I was helping him put his record out, and so I said I'd do a video for you. This again involved flash video, but to start the video I thought, well, let's just get a really spooky movie theme happening, and so I'll explain a little bit about the movie at the beginning. I call it a movie, it's a pop video, but I call them movies. And we had these little characters, these little stick men that we were going to make the whole film with, smiley men. We got a bit carried away and it took a long time, but I think it looks really great. Have a look at this. Now with the smiley men, I had to make him sing, so I had a bit of research on the internet. I found that there was certain mouth shapes that you could use for different vowels, and I went through Dave's vocal and I tried to match the vowel shapes so Smiley Man was talking to you. Once again, I used the same animation techniques that I used on the dancing before, just a couple of movements. So the guys danced or played the piano, but we spent a day and a half doing stop frame animation on this, which is moving the little men one step at a time and taking one photo and locking the camera on the phone on the tripod, and this is what it looked like. The next effect you'll see is what they call a kaleidoscope. The figures are taken on a green screen platform and you feed it into a little kaleidoscope filter that comes with the Final Cut program, and once again get the little man to dance with the guitar. And the final sequences of this is a stop frame animation sequence. I don't know, I think it lasts maybe 30 seconds, but this is very, very labour intensive. It will take about 4, 5, 6 hours just to get that little tiny bit, but it looks great, the little men operating the synthesizer. Thanks very much for taking the time to watch my videos. You can find my videos on the YouTube. I've got a YouTube channel and I'll put the URLs up in a minute, and you can find my work on jccarroll.com. and if you need any help, or if you want to make a video and you've got a bit of a budget, come and see me, because I know what to do.